a good Tavach, and good Yom Tov. It is Yud Aleph Nissen, early Yud Aleph Nissen. We're going into the day of Yud Aleph Nissen. And we are at the penultimate letter. I like to say penultimate because how often do you have a chance to use that word? Letter number 29. And I am still in beautiful, enchanting Mexico City, which you can see outside in the background. By the way, did you know Mexico City is at a very high altitude? I didn't until I got here. And I said, why do I feel woozier than when I'm in Boulder, Colorado? And then I looked it up. It's like much, much higher even than the Rocky Mountains. So I'm getting that natural altitude sickness or Rocky Mountain high or however you want to. I'm not 100% right now. All right. Baruch Hashem. Letter number 29. Baruch Hashem Chai Elul Tavshin Yutes Brooklyn Shalom Uvracha. Wow. Can you imagine that? We're already at Chai Elul. We started, do you remember when we started 29 days ago with a letter from Erev Rosh Hashanah? Remember the letter to Neshei B'nai Chabad? And now we're already almost back full circle to Erev Rosh Hashanah again. We're at Chai Elul, which of course is the birthday of the Baal Shem Tov and the Alter Rebbe. Greetings and blessings. La'achri hefsik hachi orich niskabel michtave miyud gimel elul imapan mitzuraf elov. After a very long interval, I received your letter from the 13th of Elul along with the pan. The pan, we've said before, is pidyon nefesh. It's a special type of correspondence that a chassid writes to a Rebbe with petitions for prayers. Again, I'll point out, I've pointed this out before, maybe not this 30 letters, 30 days, maybe last year, but it's always interesting to me. The Lubavitcher Rebbe is busy with the weight of the world on his shoulders, and he tells individuals, hey, why don't you write often? Like, it's been a long time. Well, you haven't written in a while. So it's interesting to me that the Rebbe points that out. It's been a long time since you've written. All right. So you wrote a letter and the pan shiyakore, and I'm gonna read that pan. This is customarily what the Rebbe would respond and do. Be'ez rotzen at an auspicious time. Al hatzion hakodesh shel kavod kedusha meir v'chami admor zecher tzadik v'kodesh levracha l'chayelim haba nishmase begins mirebim zechus yogen aleinu. I'm going to read this pan at the aisle of the Frierdiker Rebbe. By Kaisef, in your letter you write, Rashi Prakam Asher Avaralav B'Meshech HaChadosh Ma'achreinim. Basically, what's gone on in your life over the past few months. V'Hachlotosei, and your resolution, Asher Gam Hevia B'Poel, which you have also brought into action. There's a difference between a hachlata and actually following through. I told you the joke before about the 3 frogs on the log, right? 3 frogs were sitting on a log, and one decided to jump into the water. How many frogs are left on the log? 3. One decided to jump in the water. He didn't jump in the water, he just decided to. So there's a difference between a resolution and actually carrying it out. The Rebbe gives him praise for both. You made a good resolution, and I see that you've actually made good on it. What is it? We're about to find out. Liyes b'teim chetmimim de. De is of. Doesn't, says ... ellipsis. We don't know. Teim Chetimim is the Yeshiva of Lubavitch, and it has many branches all over the world. I don't know which branch this young man enrolled in. But the Rebbe is telling him that it's a good thing. You made a nice resolution and you carried through the resolution, and now you're learning in Yeshiva. Great. Okay. Umuvan asher toiv b'ma'id v'nochen asa. It is understood that you did great, very good, and proper. V'yadua chaves daiti mi'oz. And my opinion about this is known for a while. It's been known for a long time. I've said this before, when the Rebbe says that something is known, if you don't know it, now you know. And it's something that we should know, something that we should all have installed as one of our axioms. So the Lubavitcher Rebbe's opinion, not that it would surprise you, but the Lubavitcher Rebbe's opinion about young men going to yeshiva, he's in favor. He likes it. Okay. So my opinion about this is known for a while. It's known from before. Ubehechlet asher al kol echad ve'echad mibnei Yisrael lahochen atzmei kedem litziyasei in linyane elam. And certainly, every single Jew should prepare themselves for going out into the world by first, well, let's find out. Al yedei sheyakdish zmanei ach verak. Ach verak. That means exclusive and exclusive. They should dedicate their time exclusively Lilimud Teirosenu Hakdesha Teiros Chayim Lumudei Kodesh Mibli La'ariv Imzeh in Yom Achedim, to studying our holy Torah, a Torah of life, the study that is holy without mixing in any secular subjects. V'lo gam in Yoni Asik, not even business training, professional training. So the Lubavitcher Rebbe's opinion is long known and well known, that every young man should prepare for life. Prepare for life. And this is going to be a theme in the letter. Prepare for life by going to yeshiva, and that means studying exclusively holy subjects. Yes, it's wonderful if you're going to your Chabad house and you have a shir every week, or maybe even you have a shir every day. That's wonderful. But the Rebbe says you need to have an immersive experience and learn exclusively holy matters for a period in your life before you go out into the world. Moving. Now, the Rebbe says it's understood when I say that they should have at least a period in their life where they're immersed completely in Torah before they go out into the world. I'm talking about Bali Asik. There are two basic modes that a Jew can be. Sometimes we call it the Bal Asik and the Yeshiv Oyhel, or the Yisachar and the Zvulun, or reverse that. The Zvulun and the Yisachar would be the Bal Asik and the Yeshiv Oyhel. But basically, there are those who study Torah full time. That's what they do. And there are those who have a business or some means of making a livelihood, which takes much of their time. And of course, they're still mechuyev al pi halacha in the mitzvah of Talmud Torah, and therefore they learn regularly, and they learn in all of their free time when they're not working and helping their family. But the Rebbe is saying here, this idea of dedicating at least some time to immersive, exclusive Torah study, he says, I'm talking about the Bali Asik. But it's a different thing when you're talking about people who want to be Yeshvei Oyel, who want to be full-time learners, then obviously they don't just immerse themselves in yeshiva for a period of time as a preparation before they go out into the world, because they don't go out into the world. So the Rebbe makes sure that that's understood, that nobody should think that everybody should learn in yeshiva for a period of time and then go out into the world. No. If someone's going to go out into the world anyway, then they should first study Torah exclusively for a period of time. But then there are people who don't go out into the world and they remain full-time learners. So the people who remain full-time learners, Chayei Mukadashim Heim Lahanal, their whole lives are dedicated to what we just described, meaning constant immersion exclusively in holiness. So Kamesha Hevi Rambam B'Seif Hilchas Shmita V'Yevel B'Zeh, like the Rambam mentions at the end of Hilchas Shmita V'Yevel when he talks about Shevet Levi, and he says Shevet Levi is actually a very expansive category, because you can be an honorary member of Shevet Levi if you volunteer to dedicate yourself to holy matters. But at any rate, even somebody who is going to be involved in mundane affairs, by the way, do you know, you don't know, because I haven't told anybody this, I finally realized what the word mundane means. Because I am in Mexico right now. And I was speaking to some of the local community, and in my broken Spanish, like a mix of Spanish English, and I was mentioning something of words from Parshas Tzav from the Rebbe about it's about burning the fats on the altar in the day and in the night. And the day is kedusha, and the night is mundane. And all of a sudden, when I'm hearing the Spanish said back to me, and I realized that mundane is mundano, which is mundo, which is the world. Mundane means worldly. It just hit me. That's why in Yana Elam, matters of the world is mundane. It never clicked for me what the worldly matters. That's what mundane means. Chayil, worldly, it's the same idea. Okay, so somebody who's going to go out into the world and deal with secular, although nothing in the Jewish life is truly secular, because like the Rebbe said before, remember the Rebbe spoke to the teacher of agriculture. He said, B'chol d'rachecha de'ehu. King Solomon, the wisest of all men, said, know Hashem in all of your ways. So even when you're teaching agriculture, it's spiritual for a Jew. But lefi erech, relatively speaking, somebody who's going to go out into the world of business, and he's going to be involved in, I won't call it secular, God forbid, but he's involved in things that are not overtly holy. So he must dedicate a period of his life to be exclusively immersed in Torah study in a yeshiva. Yeah, okay. Now, this period of study in yeshiva is like a foundation for your future life. Shekim kol binyan shal gabav tali l'reish v'l'reshein b'chezek yesed ukadugmas binyan she'ein kol tayalis b'shipur aksalim arehitim she'ein muftachim she'yesed chazek kedei atzerech. It's like a building. The whole strength of the building is based on the foundation. It makes no sense to strengthen the walls if you don't first strengthen the foundation. So your future life, whatever it is that you're going to go do, is going to be made stronger by learning in yeshiva. This is always the question that Bachram ask. How does yeshiva prepare us for life? Why is knowing about an ox goring a cow going to make me better at being, I don't know, whatever it is, whatever profession or career that I want to go into? The Rebbe is explaining here that your whole life as a Jew is made stronger when you spend a period of time immersed in Torah study. It doesn't matter what you're going to go do afterwards. Everything is better. Everything is stronger through learning in yeshiva first. It's like the foundation of a building. You can build tall walls, but it won't help if you didn't build first a strong foundation. Someone's writing here, what's the age limit for attending yeshiva? Probably none. Okay, that's in the YouTube comments. People learn in yeshiva their whole lives. Married men learn in something called kollel. But if you are a newcomer to yeshiva and you never studied in yeshiva, contact me after the live stream. You can email rabbi@soulwords.org, and I will give you some contact information where you could look into possibly attending a yeshiva full-time for somebody who hasn't yet had that opportunity in life. Okay. Shemizem movin shehashanim shemagdishim ach verak lelimud haTorah beheve ein ze bishvil chaye helam habe bilvad. You should know that the time that you're spending now, the years actually that Rebbe says, dedicated to Torah study presently, it's not only for the sake of the spiritual reward. Obviously, there is spiritual reward for learning Torah, obviously. But that's not the only reward. It's easy to understand this is actually a preparation for all of life. Don't think that by learning in yeshiva, the only thing that's going to do for you is score you points in heaven. I mean, it will, but it's also on the most practical level going to prepare you better for the rest of your life. If somebody out there is listening and they're wondering if they should dedicate some time, yes, you should. Go learn full-time in yeshiva and tell them that the Rebbe's letter came to you and pushed you to do it. All right. V'yiratzon sheyakayim hachlotasei amora zu mitech simcha v'tuv. The Rebbe always adds, you should go and fulfill this with a joyous heart. Like, yeah, it's great. You're doing it, but enjoy it. Enjoy it. You're doing a good thing. Do it with joy. You should succeed in your studies and in your performance of mitzvahs during the time period that you mentioned. And again, this time period in yeshiva is going to increase your success for the rest of your life. Now another thing emerges here that is understood. A preparation of a few months, of just a few months. It is not enough. And if you can't do a few consecutive years, a few months is not enough. You got to do a few years. If you can't do a few consecutive years, like in a row, at least set it up that the cumulative amount of time will be equivalent to years. So you could immerse yourself and go for 6 months here and then 6 months there, but just make sure that it adds up to a few years. And whoever increases, it is increased for him. In other words, the rich get richer. If you do more, it's going to create the virtuous circle, and you're going to be able to do more. The more you do, the more you're going to be able to do. Hear what I'm saying? Okay. Last part of the letter. Regarding what you write about money for tzedakah. I guess the guy had some money. I don't know if it was significant money. I don't know. He sounds like a young guy, so I don't know if he had significant money or not, but he had some money and he wanted to know what to do with it. He wanted to give it anonymously. So he asked the Rebbe, how should he deal with giving his money anonymously to tzedakah? It would be proper to give your tzedakah to the fund at the yeshiva that you're attending. Presumably, it's the same yeshiva. And you could even give it without disclosing whose money it is. You can give it to the yeshiva administration who handles the yeshiva's tzedakah fund, and you don't have to tell them where you got it from. So it's interesting that Rebbe is encouraging this young man that where his tzedakah should go should be the same place where he's learning. I don't know if that's something to extrapolate the more general rule, but I found it interesting. With blessings for good news and for success in the above. And remember, this is Chayelul, just 12 days before Rosh Hashanah. The Rebbe says you should be written and sealed for good. And that is letter number 29. I have to catch a plane back to New York. And I will see you, Mirza Hashem, online tomorrow night for letter number 30. Or if you're at the aisle, maybe you'll run into me and tell me your favorite letter of the 30 letters. Okay, good